is an app and also a gold-based payment system. And with me to explain how it all works, CEO Jason Cozens, to talk about, let's just start with how it works, and then I want to get into some macroeconomic things with you about gold and what we're seeing in the world. But just explain Glint Pay and how it works.
Well, we're the first company in the world to enable gold as money, as everyday money. And with the Glint app and MasterCard, you can effectively put yourself on your own personal gold standard. So with the app, you can buy gold, you can save it, you can send it to other people who have accounts, you can spend it using the Glint MasterCard. So you literally can pay with anything. I really want to get this across. You can use gold as money every day. It's a kind of gold-based alternative to a bank. You can buy a flight to anywhere in the world. You can pay for your hotel. You can even pay for your underground ticket. Anything in the world you can normally buy with a MasterCard, you can now pay with gold. And so, it's why would you want to do that as well? You're protecting yourself from inflation and from systemic risk, etc.
Now, I've seen you use it at restaurants, and it works just like a credit card.
It does, well, except it's debit, and there's no credit involved.
Right. But you just give it to the server, and they run it, and it works.
Hey presto, you've just spent some gold. We've made gold into an everyday currency, one that can participate in electronic payments alongside all other currencies.
Okay, and let's just talk about gold in general, because we've always heard gold is a great inflation hedge. It's a safe world is in turmoil, which feels like we are. Explain why this is important for people to know.
Well, I woke up in 2008. I mean, I don't know how many of your viewers were there in 2008 watching the world come to the brink of financial system collapse. And it was the first time that I realized that your money in the bank is not a risk-free deposit of funds. You put that money in the bank, it ceases to be yours, it's lent out to companies sometimes you'd rather not be lending your money to. It becomes a liability on the bank's balance sheet. They owe that money to you. So first of all, if there's any problem within the system, that money's not yours. It might not be there when you need it. Okay, God forbid we ever end up in another 2008 crisis, but look at the world around us. I think people are starting to think, actually, how reliable is my banking system? How reliable is the place where I store my money? And in 2008, I also started thinking about money itself. Why is it that it depreciates in so much? And back then, inflation might have been running consistently at a kind of 2% basis. And for me, that was bad enough. I found out that the dollar had lost more than 85% of its purchasing power in my lifetime. So let's just say that again, 85% of its purchasing power in your lifetime. It's become nearly worthless. So, for me, that's not a good solution for money. And I woke up to that and thought, I've got to create change. I reckon I can find a better way. And I learned that gold has been the form of best store of value that we've ever had and continues to be. It still buys you what it did 2,000 years ago, never mind 50. Its purchasing power in my lifetime has gone up 500%. And, if we could surely turn that into a form of money that can participate today, after all, it did back the US dollar until 1971, then why shouldn't we do it? Central banks still use it as the currency of last resort, and that's what our technology has done.
Yeah, and it's the payment system is backed by gold. I mean, it's sitting in Switzerland, right?
It's real gold. It's not a paper gold, it's not an ETF. Most people try and expose themselves to kind of some gold, maybe have 5 or 10% of their portfolio in gold, and they buy it. But they might be buying, a share of an ETF, which is a fund that may or may not be backed by gold, or unallocated gold, which you don't even use. But I think what I'm asking you to do is to think about what's going on, and to actually wake up to the fact, that the central banks, and the governments that, run our countries, whether it's the US, the UK, or anywhere else in the world, they vote and they back inflation every single time. It's the biggest tax on society. It's the biggest tax on savers. It's the biggest kind of, in my view, reason why we've got such a growing inequality in society. And so surely, maybe people don't think about it because there is no alternative. Well, there is. Glint is that, it's a glint of hope, excuse the pun, but we've thought very carefully about what we name this. These are dark times, inflation running out of control, war in Europe, a recession that we're in the EU. But hopefully you do have an alternative. You do have a choice. You don't just have to stick with what you've got.
Well, and I think one of the things that kind of held gold back for so long was that people are, what am I going to carry a gold bar around and, cut it up and pay, but this is a way that makes it more liquid to just kind of do your everyday transactions.
That does, it does. It makes it really just, it brings unprecedented liquidity to gold.
So you have got investors.
We've got some amazing investors.
Okay, so explain that, and if people are interested, where do they go to learn more?
So we have Sprott Inc., one of the biggest asset managers in the world that focuses on gold. I can't remember exactly how much they've got under management at the moment, but it's over $20 billion, I think. We have the Tokyo Commodity Exchange. We have the UK's Future Fund, and we have, most recently this year, we have Sibanye-Stillwater's Biocube Innovation Fund, and they invested in Glint as well. They're one of the biggest producers of precious metals, and they're on the New York Stock Exchange here in New York. So we have a great group of investors. We also have some other great individuals. We ran a crowdfunding campaign last year. Our vision is a world where everyone has an equal opportunity to prosper, whether you are we've worked hard all your life and you've amassed wealth, you need to be able to protect that. Whether you're somebody who's starting off saving, you need to make sure that when you do save, that money is worth something in 10 years' time when you want to use it for an apartment deposit, for instance, or a house deposit. And so we're taking that philosophy one step further, as we did last year, and opening it up to ordinary people, a lot of our clients who say, look, if you like the product, you might want to invest in our business, and we're doing our best to allow you to do that. If you're listening to this and you're outside of the US, if you're a resident outside of the US, you can invest through a company called Cedars, Cedars.com. They're a crowdfunding platform. You can invest as little as, I think, maybe $20 in Glint, and we're kind of democratizing access to that. If you're a resident in the US, we're working on that at the moment. You're probably going to have to be an accredited investor, investing $30,000 or more to invest in the company. But we'll bring more details to you on that later. And if you're interested and you're a US resident, what I recommend you do is pre-register your interest at invest.glintpay.com. That's invest.glintpay.com, and we'll make sure you're the first to know about any solution we've got in that area.
And you have some new products in the pipeline?
Look, we're a fintech innovation company. We have to be innovating all the time. I constantly tell my team we've got to think like it's day one of our business. And we've brought a gold portal to wealth managers that just launched last month. We have our first wealth manager who signed up to that. We have a premium product for our high net worth clients coming. It's just launched recently in stealth. And we're going to be building a bridge to cryptocurrencies, a crypto bridge that allows people to invest their cryptocurrency gains into gold, to be able to buy gold when they want to move out of their gains in crypto and move into something reliable, something that you can trust, and something that's still outside of the banking system.
Okay, thank you so much, Jason.
Thank you.
Thanks.